You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
As you can tell, I still have the bronchitis. I'll be trying to keep the hacking and the coughing to a minimum. But that's okay. Sometimes you got a podcast with pain, as we say in the biz. You heard of that before? I have Joni Cotham here. We're going to do research to the community. Now, of course, you've done a pretty good job of introducing yourself already because we met at our B&I meeting. You go to Jonathan's Friday morning powwow. What do you call that thing, Taylor? What is it called?
The Afterglow.
The Afterglow, yeah. It's getting to be well known. And Chamber of Commerce. I mean,
Yep.
you're making a lot of waves here.
I am.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk about her background, and we're going to check out her financial status and what makes her cry, and
All the things.
yeah, all those things, just like Oprah.
Lovely.
Yeah. How you doing, Taylor? You avoiding this junk in the air?
I'm trying to.
It's a beating, ain't it?
It sounds like it.
Well, I've talked to several people, and they'll have the same complaint. There must be a lot of cedar in the air, whatever. Doesn't matter. The show must go on. All righty, but we're going to talk with Joni here about what her services are as a photographer, and how you can get in touch with her, and we can talk about maybe some potential ideas about how to get the word out and whatnot. But right now, speaking of get the word out, we're going to talk about CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. If you're going to keep the pounds off, you need to go throw the pounds around at the CrossFit Burleson. It's a good place to do it. They have training, they have supervision, they have programs, they have classes. So it's not just a go do it yourself kind of program. You're going to get the kind of assistance you want to really make the workout beneficial. So give the ladies Lexi and Bailey a call over at CrossFit Burleson, or check out CrossFitBurleson.com. Also, Shandy, I just was texting her yesterday. I was because I read something about real estate, and in the real estate market, it's pretty busy. Joni, how long you lived in Burleson?
1 year this month.
Okay, so so you're a fairly recent user of real estate services, and I'm sure in Burleson, it was a prime location, but there was there are cheaper places to buy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but why did you choose Burleson? Well, I'll tell you what. Let me ask that after the ads, okay? Because they pay me for this, believe it or not. So, Shandy, I hope you're doing well. I know she's got a couple of houses that she's showing, and she's closing on soon. So good for her, because even if you read in the national media about the housing markets declining, it's not here. So, Shandy, this is the person you need to talk to. All right. Also, Our Place. Have you been to Our Place?
I have.
Who hasn't?
Delicious.
Isn't it, though? And Otto is a great owner. He's a great person. I always make this comment about the fact that he has a lot of the same staff for a long time. I mean, there are people who have been working there for years, which is not common. You said you had a restaurant background. Mm-hmm. You probably saw them come and go pretty quick, right?
Yes.
Well, they've had people there that not only have been there several years, but their siblings have worked there, moms and daughters have worked there, and I always find that to be a real testimony to the owner. And the food's great, and the service is great, and it's a comfortable place, and it's a very diverse place. So I really enjoy it quite a bit. Also, but I am going to deviate just for a minute. I mentioned this yesterday. On the 16th of this month, Stephen Carl Jansen, or Santa, you know who I'm talking about? We have a gentleman. He was on my show about 2 weeks ago. He does the majority, if not the big majority, of the Santa appearances. He has the beard, he has the outfit, all the rest.
Nice.
And he's going to be at Our Place on the 16th, and we're trying to collect Christmas cards for the family of the late Matt Aiken. Matt passed away about a month ago, and most of us have known him for a long time. And you know him as a former city council member, as a sponsor of various things, as an attorney, whatnot. And so, and also OPRO, as I'll get to later, as he was one of the founders of that. If you'd like to participate in giving his children a Christmas card, or throw in a gift card, if you will, if you want, drop it by Otto's place, and they'll put it aside. And then Stephen is going to make a personal visit about a week later.
That's so sweet.
Yes. Well, Matt was a well-regarded, respected person in this community, and what happened was, he died of cancer. And about earlier last week, his widow and his two boys came for a photo shoot. And Stephen is a very sensitive person, and he just was very struck by all this, and so he wanted to do something for it, for the family. So that's what you get in Burleson, is those kind of people. You know,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that so much.
Here, so I'm hoping we'll get a bunch of cards for the Aiken family. Also, another community-minded member of Wild Cigar and Culture. Are you a cigar smoker by any chance? It sounds like I am, but are you a cigar smoker?
I am not. My husband does enjoy one.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a good place to go get them. If you ever want to go see a really first-class humidor, that's the place to go.
Yes, we went recently.
Okay, so you've been there, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, so good for you. Also, gift cards, always a great thing. You know, we got, some people say, well, I don't smoke cigars, but I know people that do. Great gift card ideas. Also, if you like a place or a quiet place to have a drink and have a conversation or just to think, that's a good place to do it too. It literally is the nicest bar in town.
Yes.
And so, Wild Cigar and Culture over at the Standard. Also, Local Life magazine. This is something you might want to consider getting the word out. Local Life goes to 30,000 homes, and it goes to a lot of businesses, multiple editions. And so, people are perusing them while they wait for the car to get fixed or whatever, or waiting for their turn at the beauty shop or whatever. And so a lot of people see it more than just the people get it in their mailboxes. So it's a really good magazine. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah. It's the network event on Wednesdays at Old Texas Brewery.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
They were there one morning and they did a little presentation. So I got to hear all about them.
Okay, well, good. Well, Tiffany and I are good friends, and I use her service, and she uses mine, obviously, and it works out pretty well. So, give her a holler. Also, you kind of changed up on the logo here. You got the Burleson Buzz, and if you go to burlesonbuzz.com/Allard23, you'll get a discount on your subscription. Right there it says .com/Allard23. It's a local news source. It's not very expensive anyway, so getting a discount, it's almost, you're really getting a pretty good deal. It's only $50 a year, I believe, but Cody will tell you more. But it's a good place to get a lot of news. I had him on last week, and it was a great show last Thursday because, he's really serious about doing this, and he's putting in the time, and it's where you get a lot of information. But speaking of information, now we're going to go and investigate every detail of Joni Cotham's life.
Goodness.
Now, you said just moved here a year ago.
Yes.
Here's your card, I guess, is your logo.
This is my logo, and it's got my website on there.
Okay, tell us your website. I can't read it from here as well. Since my glasses broke, they fell off my face and broke one of the arms. So what is...
JoniLynnPhotography.com.
Okay, well, we'll be sure to show that again. That's a nice card. And I assume that's an example of your work.
An
in the
example,
background.
yes, of my work. And I am specializing in print. Since we are living in such a digital world these days, I want to offer print artwork to my clients. And so that's an example of a family photo up on the wall.
That is not as common as it used to be.
It's not.
Most of the photographers I know, it's digital, and it's fine, of course, but some of the old school stuff still works. But you said you moved here about a year ago from Austin, right?
Beaumont.
Beaumont, right? No,
I did live in Austin for a long time. That's okay.
Yeah. But Beaumont has certain appeal, I suppose, if you like roughnecks and hurricanes and all
hurricanes,
that.
Yes.
Is that really what brought you up here? Is because you got tired of the hurricanes?
Yes. We flooded in two of the last two hurricanes that hit that area, and we were tired of rebuilding our house every 2 years.
That would be pretty annoying, I'm sure.
It is. It was a lot of hard work, and I learned a lot, but I was tired of doing it.
Well, what brought you to Burleson specifically? I mean, because you could have gone in a lot of different places. But...
Well, my husband works in Arlington. And when he started working up here, me and the kids were still in Beaumont. And he was not fond of Arlington. And so he said, we are not going to live in Arlington.
Well, I lived in Arlington. My wife and I first got married. We spent 3 years in Arlington. And I like...
Parts of it.
I didn't like the traffic, for one thing.
Yes.
That was a beating. And it was just everywhere you drove, it was just an ordeal, it seemed like.
Yes.
I liked it, but I came here because this is where I got employed. So, but he says, I don't care for Arlington, and off
Yes,
you go.
he didn't really want to live in Arlington, and he was up here and he checked out Mansfield and North Richland Hills and a lot of different areas. And someone said, well, you should go check out Burleson. And he did, and started looking at houses here and found one that he just loved. And we actually bought that house without me ever seeing it.
Oh, my. That's a lot of faith in your husband's taste, I suppose.
Yes. He walked me through the house via FaceTime.
Right.
And I said, okay. And I didn't see the house until we signed on it.
Oh, my.
I know.
Well, that is a leap in the dark. But
It was.
But since you've moved to Burleson, what do you think about this little town?
I absolutely love Burleson. I love the community. I have met so many amazing people already. I love the school that my kids attend.
Which is?
Bransom
Right.
Elementary. I love everyone in that school district. They are great. My kids love the school. I love all the extras that they get there with the art program and the piano and theater and audio video. It's so much more than
That is
where we came from.
That's our specialty, so to speak. And we have schools of choice among the majority of our elementary schools. We have some neighborhood schools, and then we have schools of choice. And if I remember correctly, Bransom is the one for musical and artistic creation.
arts, yeah.
Well,
I love that.
You love it.
And being a creative soul, I just love that my kids are getting that at school.
Well, that's one of the best things that BISD has done in a while. I mean, it's amazing how this district has evolved in the last decade or so, and all the opportunities and whatnot. And that's a good reason to move here. Shandy, the real estate queen of Burleson, will tell you the first two things everybody asks about is schools and police. The crime issues, if there are any.
Right.
And we have a really, really good police force. I'll forgive the one that gave me a ticket 7 years ago, but no, we have some dedicated public servants in the police force and the fire department. Let's not leave them out. But that's what a lot of people notice about Burleson, is that they have a much higher degree of public service and public servants. So that's a good reason.
It's got a great feeling in this town. I love it.
Well, and it's growing, and there's a lot of business opportunities.
Yes.
And so you have but anyway, you move to Burleson, and you don't know anybody really, do you?
No.
So, but I have to mind the fact that you put your name out there. So how are you getting your name out there besides sitting in a podcast?
Right.
Yeah.
I just keep showing up to things. I joined the chamber. So I've been going to the network at night events.
I know you came by the BNI meeting. That's how you and I
did,
met. And,
yes.
and I know you liked it, but it just,
My business isn't quite ready to invest in that.
Yeah. And
because I'm brand new.
Yeah, it is an investment, both the time and finances. And there's no question. I have several sponsors that are BNI, but
it's a great program, and
it is.
eventually I would love to join once I build my business up a little bit more.
Yeah, but you also have been to some of the other networking groups here in town, and joining the chamber is a good idea.
It is, and I love the people of the chamber. They are very supportive and just great people.
Well, I had the chamber on yesterday, and a very important program they're partnering with the police about, and I'm going to talk about that when that time comes in the show, in the second round of ads and such. But I am impressed with it. They had a really, really good director in Gabrina Daniels, and then they found somebody that's very, very suitable as a replacement in Melissa Miller. You don't say replacement, you say somebody to succeed her, because Melissa's her own person, and she has her own ideas, and she's bringing those to the chamber, and it's a really good thing. Another thing also, that speaking of business, we have a really, really good economic development department with Alex Phillips and Drew Punnywell and Joni Van Noy. Those three really do a great job in promoting business and to come to Burleson. And so we are a growing community quite a bit. Did you know that about Burleson, or is it something you discovered?
I'm discovering it as the longer I live here, and talking, making friends, and meeting people that have lived here their whole lives, and seeing how much it has grown. I love the up and coming little towns. I lived in Pflugerville outside of Austin, and when we moved there, it had the same feel. It was just starting to boom, and it's a great time to move into a town like this.
Yes, I was reading about Pflugerville in Texas Monthly about a year ago, and so it's, and they had a lot of similarities and a lot of same problems we had in terms of growth. I mean, it's a good problem to have, I suppose, but it has, put more need for infrastructure and all this other business. But anyway, I talked to the city council members. I got one that comes on a monthly basis, and that's a big part of what they have to deal with. But you come at a good time, though, because it really, and I believe in the last decade with that COVID interruption, it really has expanded. And what really helped is during COVID, so many people supported our local businesses that had to shut down, like the restaurants. They would intentionally order out, takeout, so they could keep those businesses going.
Yes.
And
there's lots of great small businesses here in town.
Mm-hmm. And now, as far as your photography, well, so eventually some of your work, but do you do like photo shoots like in location, or do you have a studio?
I do not have a studio right now. That is on my goals list. So eventually I would love to have a studio, but right now it's on location. I do mostly natural light photography, so it's outdoors. Yes.
Okay, so you do a lot of photography, but do you do like seasonal photography, like, for example, Christmas? Do you do a lot of that?
This year I did not do a Christmas setup. I think that's because I am new and I haven't built up the clientele to really support like a whole event like that. So, but I have learned a lot this season, and so I am gearing up for next season, and I have big plans for next season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I talked about this before the show about maybe a possible location, the Hub.
Yes.
Right? And, and you can deal with Camille Bransom on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. It's up to y'all. I mean, she's very flexible. And I could see very easily you leasing out one of those spaces and making like a holiday scene out of it.
Yes.
Or maybe for senior pictures coming up, that's a big deal.
Yes, I want to get into senior portraits.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing about the senior portraits, your preference, if you will, for print, might be a factor. I mean, because a lot of people, I'm the old school. That's how I'll remember, and that's what's hanging on my wall for my kids and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And or on the mantelpiece or whatever. No, but I could see you having to sit up there for a seasonal basis, and and there's all other sorts of
advantages to having a studio.
Yeah, advantages.
Weather
at Camille's or not.
Time of day.
Well,
yes.
but I'm promoting Camille because that's where we
yes.
started. We started in the Hub 4+ years ago, and COVID kind of drove us out of there, but that's another story. But anyway, so mostly it's like family portraits, or is it, I guess, whatever they want photographed, I suppose. I mean, we do other things besides people.
Pets.
Pets
and their people.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, I do. I enjoy doing pet photography. It's a little challenging depending on the dog or the pet, but it's a lot of fun to capture the little personalities of pets too.
Well, I always thought it was funny because every time we try to take a picture for a dog, it's like right before you snap the picture, the dog would turn to the left, look to the left, and it's like looking at something else. And
of course.
All right, gotta do it again, and that kind of thing.
They're not always very cooperative.
Yeah, we're more than babies, I bet. I mean,
children can be challenging.
Do you do baby
Absolutely.
photography?
Not the newborn photography. That is a whole nother beast of photography.
Really? So photographers, they specialize, I suppose, in certain
niches.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your niche would be what you can?
Family photography, portrait photography right now. So family is my niche right now. I would love to get into high school seniors. I have a few booked for next year, and hopefully get more and more clients in the high school seniors because they're fun. They've got so much going on as teenagers, into music, sports, and you can do so many different fun, creative sessions with them.
Well, both of my kids, when they had their senior pictures done, they were done on location. It wasn't just, it wasn't in the studio. Like my son, I remember the young lady that did it doesn't do photography now. Her name was Sarah Carlson, and she did my son, and they did some, spots in Fort Worth, certain landmarks, I guess. Is that the kind of thing you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm still learning all the, really good spots to photograph because I'm new here. But every time I get something booked, I try to find a new location to photograph. So.
Well, Fort Worth's a good place to do it. The water gardens and all that business. But my son, he had some really good pictures, and they were all not just your standard poses, and it was or your standard somewhere in black and white, somewhere in half black and white with maybe some red highlights or whatever. All this various artistic
Little
touches.
artistic touch.
Do you do that kind of
yes.
stuff? Yeah.
I did a session with my daughter. She turned 10 this year, and we did a really fun session with her. And it was at a wedding venue in Grandview called Rivendell.
Yeah. Okay. That's
It's
well known.
beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful place. And I went out there, and it was just very magical feeling. So after in post, I put fairy wings on her. I should have sent that picture over. It is so much fun to, just create something artistic within your photography.
Do you have the picture on your phone? Well, while I do the second commercials, you can send them to Taylor
Okay.
because
I'll
he
see.
can
Check it out.
pop them up real quick. And
Nice.
But you do wedding photos as well?
No, not right now.
You said that's another niche.
It is another, and weddings is what I'm scared to do about weddings is you get one shot at it. You can't redo that day. If you, mess up, if your SD card gets corrupted in a family session, you can reschedule. You can reshoot that.
Well, that's what happened to my wife and I when we got married back in 1988. The photographer lost one of the rolls. Okay, this is film days, right?
Yes.
And so he lost a roll. And so we don't have any. We have pictures of our wedding and the wedding itself and the wedding parties and all this other stuff, but we don't have any pictures of her in her gown. So I think we have, just those poses you take by yourself, and, we have pictures of, my parents, her parents, that kind of thing. But as far as her alone, the photo shoot, that's all gone.
Right. You can't get that day back. And so that's a lot of pressure. So wedding photographers, they have to handle that pressure pretty well. I'm not ready for that.
At my daughter's wedding, they had a photographer and she was late and everybody's worried and all this other stuff. Anything associated with weddings, I would not want to deal with.
I know.
Sorry.
I'd rather capture people and what makes them uniquely you. And I really want to get to know my clients and so that I can capture them in their as they are.
And we still have some old photos that have been taken of our families. We're all wearing the same shirt and blue jeans and all that. Is that what normally happens?
Very matchy. Yeah. I try to guide my clients to not be super matchy, but blend, have harmonious colors and some textures and patterns in there to make it interesting, not super matchy.
But just interesting because for most people taking pictures, taking a picture for you, it's a work of art.
Yes.
You consider it art.
Yes.
And so when a client calls you or gets on the email with you or whatever, do you make suggestions or you just pretty much do as they want?
Whenever I book a client, I set them up with an in-person consultation to start with. And so that gives me a chance to get to know them, ask questions about their family and what they want out of the photography session so I can best serve them. And then I will, talk to them about what kind of location they want. And I will suggest or, guide them in wardrobe options. I'll send them a little styling guide that they can use, or, if they have a certain vision, they can go for that too. But I just try to guide them to make really beautiful images.
That's interesting because you're trying to create something, and obviously it's going to last a lifetime, or past it, because photos are handed down certainly. But the photographer at my wife's wedding was very dictatorial, she might say. And there's pictures of my wife and all her bridesmaids, and my sister-in-law is one of them. She's all but grimacing at the camera because she was so mad at this photographer. It's a really funny picture to see. But you pretty much let them call the shots, so to speak, right? I mean, with suggestions, with guidance, but they have something have an idea what they want, and you kind of guide them towards how that could be happening.
I I work with their vision to create their vision because it's their family. It's I'm creating artwork for them to, like you said, pass down for generations and have something that they'll cherish. And I want them to be in love with the images that we create together.
I'm going to go a second round of the ads here, and particularly also talk about this, what we talked about yesterday about this victim assistance program, and that's very important. But so we talk about somebody have met at Gala at Southern Gym. This is where I got your card.
Yes.
You were there for some event that Gala was having.
Yes, she did her open house.
Right, and they're very busy. Robin's telling me that it's pretty steady and all that. And really, this is the last week. If you really want to get your stuff repaired and have it in time for Christmas, you better get it in this week, because pretty soon the schedule's going to get full. It's already pretty full already. But if you have something you need repaired or designed, or cleaning doesn't take very long. They can do that while you wait. But they also have great inventory. If you've been there, obviously, have you been there as a shopper, or is it just a kind of a networker?
But it is a beautiful establishment, and I browsed around.
Yes, of course you did.
Beautiful, beautiful jewelry there.
Yeah, they get customers from like 2 hours away, and that surprised me a little bit. But I guess it shouldn't, but it does, because Gala has a reputation within the industry. But anyway, Southern Gym over at the Standard, they're going to be open an extra hour until Christmas, from 10 till 6, and they're open from 9 to 3 o'clock. That's right. And this coming Saturday, they were open last Saturday, so they'll be open every Saturday until Christmas. So so there's going to be a lot of opportunity. Also, Old Pro Roofing. This was the business that Matt Aiken and his brother Corey Aiken started, and I mentioned already about the Christmas card collection. John is their local representative, John Williams. Their business is located in Old Town, but they do roofs all over DFW. And I see John on the BNI meetings, and he puts a lot of miles on that truck. Or he has a job in Louisville, one in Plano, one in Frisco, one in Weatherford. They'll go where the roofs are needed. So 817-734-2756. A very fine young man too. He's not going to upsell you. He's not going to make you think your roof is about to cave in when it's not. And we like doing business with local folks because we know where to find them. Also, thank you to Sammy and Candy. You met Candy at the BNI meeting. She was the president when you were there. She's now, we rotate offices. She and I are now visitor hosts. And so, but Candy and Sammy have been doing mortgage brokerage business for at least 20 years in this area. And so they're not just experienced brokers, but experienced in Burleson real estate. And they can help you get the best rates if you want to refinance, if you're buying a house, whatnot. Call Camco Mortgage, because I've done them twice, refinance for school loans and for college expenses for the kids, and also some repairs we wanted to have done. And it's confusing to an outsider, but they hold your hand and guide you through it, and it was a great experience both times I did it. So Sammy's at 817-778-4592, and Candy's at 817-925-2661. They're local. They're here in Burleson. Their location's at the B&G complex, 3rd floor, that south building. So give them a holler if you're looking for that. All right. This, Taylor, do you have the victim assistance from yesterday? There you go. Yesterday I had Melissa Miller and Chamber. She brought 2 people with them. Colin Gregory, which my old Burleson person, everybody knows Colin. He's a communications man over at Burleson PD, and also Stephanie Beard, who is the victim assistant. So I'm going to be promoting this until at least the end of the month. What this is that this is a means by which, if you or somebody you know is involved in a difficult situation, domestic abuse, assault, some sort of violent situation, or economic distress, homelessness, things of that nature, they have a program set up for you to confidentially contact them. And if necessary, the police will get involved. If you get on the QR code and fill out the form and say that you're being abused or in some manner, yes, there will be a response of that nature, which is I hope what you're looking for. But if you're also, it's not just meant for that. It's if you're in a situation where economic distress is. Oh, hang on. Okay. I'll get back to that. Somebody just popped in on something. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. Anyway, if you're in a situation like you're homeless or you're living out of your car and you don't know where to turn, first we got Harvest House, you got Promises Community, but if you're new to the area, you can use that QR code and they can direct you towards it. It's basically, if you're a victim of something, circumstances, another person, whatever, please access this. And if you don't have a QR code reader or you don't have it available, I bet if you call the police department and ask, I want to talk to the victim assistance person, Stephanie will be the next person you talk to. Now, anyway, by the way, the show was yesterday, and I hope you watch it and share it, not just because.
I listened. It was a good show.
Yeah, what is it?
I encourage everyone to go listen to that one.
No, it is. It's not just for my numbers. My numbers are fine. That's one of the values of this podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, who is this on the screen? Sharon Lyons Williamson Grissom.
That is my mother.
I really watching my beautiful daughter. Is she local here?
No, she's still in the Beaumont area.
I mean, she's watching all the way from Beaumont.
She is.
Look at that, Taylor. We got statewide reach.
Yes.
It's funny is I get a report every month about.
Oh, to see where your viewers come from?
Yeah, well, and it's not specific like Beaumont. It'd just be state by state. But then I'll get somebody from Belgium and like, who do I know in Belgium? Or last month or 2 months ago, a couple in Japan and like.
Oh, how fun.
They must have been exceptionally bored or whatever, but who knows? It's
how
fun.
They find you. That's interesting.
So that you had to move away from mom. I bet that
she was not happy with me.
Yes, I'm thinking, grandmas could be pretty territorial.
And my brother from Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Oh my gosh, we're going coast to coast here. How about that?
I have a very supportive family.
Well, that's nice to know.
It is. They're
Yeah,
yes.
I hope he's not freezing up in Minnesota, though.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
It's cold up there.
Yeah, I know. Are y'all native to Texas?
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is his second winter up in Minnesota.
Oh, I had a friend that just moved to Minneapolis. He retired from Centennial. A lot of people know him as Grant Wittenberg. They know him well. And he retired to go live with his family and teach at a private school in Minneapolis. And last winter, they were literally up past the eaves of their house in snow. I don't know how people enjoy that, but there you are. Anyway, back to you. All right, so you kind of hit it on this already, but as you develop an idea of what they want, and then do you have multiple shoots, or is it you try to do it all in one day? I mean,
family sessions, it's a one day thing, and it's an experience that I'm trying to create, not just taking photos. Like it's an experience. I want people to feel great about who they are and whatever season of life that they're in, because you never know what life is gonna, unfold for you tomorrow. And so I want to make people feel beautiful. I want to capture that family connection, because it's so cliche, when people say, don't blink and your kids are going to be grown. Well, it's true. I mean, mine are 6 and 10, and I feel like they were born yesterday, and it's just flying by. And so it's so important to capture those memories while they're happening, because if you keep putting it off, so many people, life is busy and it's hard to make time to take family photos. But if you keep putting it off, you're never going to have those memories to look back on.
We don't have like an annual family photo, but when my kids are small, roughly about your age and younger, we had the same setup for a Santa Claus shoot. Same outfits with a little vest and whatever else, and same Santa, same location. It was a photography that's long out of business now because he retired. It was on Camp Bowie in Fort Worth, and so we have for a few years from very small up until my son was like 11 or something like that, and my daughter was about 8. Christmas photos, and like when he was like 2, I think you had a picture of him as just screaming at Santa,
Right.
And we kept it because it was so funny.
Yes, it's a memory to look back on. Sometimes pictures are the only thing that triggers those memories of a time in your life, and we're so digital. Like I have thousands and thousands of pictures on my phone, but which is another reason why I am specializing in print because it's just a different experience to hold something in your hand and flip through a photo album or see something big on your wall.
What equipment do you use to make these photos?
Myself and my camera.
I mean, no. What kind of camera is what I meant?
I have
He
a
means
Canon.
Nikon or Canon?
Yeah.
Or Sony?
Gotcha. Canon. I have a Canon camera.
So it's all right.
Yay!
I don't know the difference, but I guess Taylor does.
Taylor likes that I use Canon. I like that.
All right. I guess there's a difference in cameras like that. I just remember little Kodaks,
Right.
back in the day. But so, but you have, I'm sure, like a fairly high-end Canon photographer,
Yes.
photographic setup.
My lenses.
Lenses are
The
expensive.
lens is where it's at.
Yeah.
Lenses are expensive, but they're where you should invest,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And so you take all these photos. You're putting them on film, though, aren't you?
Well, I use a professional print lab,
Okay.
and so I order prints.
And so, what do you send them? I see. I'm really not familiar with how the modern photography works. I know they have SIM cards and all this other business, but as far as like how does a professional do it?
Well, I use a professional print lab, and I just upload my images to them, and then they print it either on print and frame it for me, professionally framed, or canvas, or I can do print on metal or acrylic blocks. There's a
Right.
bunch of different fun things that I don't offer all the time, but I will at certain, next year for Christmas. I have like a whole plan of offering a couple specialty items that I don't offer throughout the year at my typical family sessions.
Okay, so it comes back to you, I guess UPS or whatever, and
Yep, they send it to me, and then I package it up really pretty and wrap it so it's like a gift whenever I deliver it to my clients, which is one of the funnest parts of my
I'd
job
imagine.
is taking the actual artwork and giving it to my clients. It's a fun day.
So in a typical photo shoot, how long does that last?
A photo shoot, roughly an hour, maybe a little bit longer, depending
Right.
on how many people we have and the location and what different poses that we want to get. But about an hour.
Okay, and so let's say you had a shoot this afternoon. How quickly would your client get those photos?
After the session, within 2 weeks, I like to get together with them again, and then I build out a slideshow of all the best images, and so I show it to them on a big screen like this, usually at home or their home or my home. And so I show them their images big like this, so they
Oh,
get
how
to
about
see
that?
something.
Is that your daughter?
That's my daughter.
Oh, yeah, she's a sweet
And the
little
first
girl.
one was my son.
Go back up. I missed that one there, Taylor. There you go. Oh, and then hey, he looks like he's an experienced photography subject.
He has personality, if you can't tell. And
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite things to do with kids about his age, that 5, 6, 7. Because you can capture such unique, that's personality all day long.
Yes. You know what's going to happen, though, is when, many years from now, when he's getting married, he's like the rehearsal dinner. You're going to throw that on the screen, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, my parents did something sort of to me, some embarrassing photographs or whatnot. They had some old film they put on. Well, at that time it was VHS, and so they showed me when I was 2. But
This is fun.
I bet his teachers just love him.
He's given his teacher a hard time this year.
No, really. There's a shocker. Well, because a lot of guys with personality like that find
Yes.
school a little bit stifling, a little bit, but that's all right.
Yes,
I
to say
had
the least.
I had 28, 29 years of that, but then that's a sweet.
Then that is my daughter. This is the session that we did out at Rivendell for her 10-year. Yes, I just wanted to make her feel beautiful and empowered, and going into those early tween years.
Oh yeah.
Is so I just want to make her feel beautiful. This is a session I did with her and her best friend, and that's with a slinky. That's just something a little more fun and artistic that we had fun photographing them.
So it's really more than just poses. You're treat this as like art almost,
It is.
or it is art.
It absolutely is.
I mean, I've seen plenty of photos in museums and whatnot. Well, back up one. I didn't. Is This, I guess, this is a family you just recently did?
Yes, this is a family I just recently did. This is the Myers family. They were a pleasure to work with. The kids were so well behaved and easy to work with. You know, sometimes you can have challenging kids. These were a pleasure. They were fun to work
and that
with.
baby staring away like...
She is adorable.
Yeah.
Those big eyes. I love big baby eyes.
Yeah. And look at that smile on that kid.
Yes, that's my nephew, Noah. He's in Minnesota.
Oh, well, bless his heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Playing in the snow.
Yeah.
But he's a cutie. He's got big personality, too. He's fun to photograph.
Well, he and his cousin, I suppose, will have a lot of fun at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
This
Do you recognize that?
it looks
place?
familiar. Yeah, I'm thinking, who are these?
Oh, no, the location I was saying. Do you recognize
I was
the
thinking,
location?
well, who are these? I mean,
That's the Pavia family.
I don't know. Maybe I got to confuse somebody else, but they look like somebody I know. But where's
They're
this
a sweet
location?
family. That's behind the Chisenhall baseball fields.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's a beautiful place to photograph.
Yes, we have some spots in Burleson now that, could take photos. When I was a teacher, and I'd see a lot of senior pictures, they would do a lot of shots around Old Town.
Yeah.
Particularly around where Babes is now used to be Bailey's one place and all this other business. And they had that and all that. Oh, yeah, and this one.
Oh, and Nina Willis. This is the Willis family. Nina is a counselor here in Burleson.
Right.
She has rainy day counseling. She just started up her business this year as well. But this is a sweet family. Love them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the kids look like they're surviving it.
They are. They were very good kids too. They were fun.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Well, so when you go in there, you show them like all these proofs, I guess, and then they choose which ones
And
they
then,
want.
we narrow it down and we pick out what kind of wall art they want. And then I get it ordered. And then delivery day is fun.
Yeah.
So, that takes a couple of weeks depending on the time of year. With the print lab, right now the print labs are super busy.
Oh, of course.
Christmas cards,
Yeah.
artwork. The silly faces with my son is always a great gift to give like grandparents of their grandkids. Super fun.
Well, I have a friend that they also could put those photographs on like T-shirts and coffee mugs and whatever
all
else.
kinds of fun stuff.
Creative Concepts by Mandy's, it's called.
Oh, yes.
Okay, over in 1187, and I don't know how you get that material over to her, but I bet you put them on. You know her?
I don't know Mandy. I know Julie. But
Yeah, I guess you do. Yeah.
she is making a table runner with my logo on it for like a booth table for I'm doing the Business Expo with the chamber in February, so I'll have a booth.
You'll see
with
us
my
there
table.
as well.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So she's doing my table runner with my logo on it.
Well, we were there last February, not just the BNI group, but also individually, the members of BNI, to promote their businesses and the group. And that was very successful. I thought it was one of the best things.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and it's going to be even bigger.
Yes.
Because I believe that was the first one, and now it's going to be even bigger. And it's going to probably push the limits of Pathways space, but there you go.
Nice.
But
It's
that's
another way to get my name out there.
There's a couple other events like that coming up. Also, there's one thing I would suggest is contact a gentleman named Chaz Forster. He's runs the farmers market.
Okay.
And I don't know how he handles services like because most people are selling items.
Right.
But I have seen people with space there to promote their business.
Okay.
I don't know what the deal is. A small fee probably, I think.
Right.
And but we have this thing coming up on Saturday, the Christmas Farmers Market. It's a big deal. And so if you want to go and just drop by, you'll find Chaz at the corner of it.
Okay.
At the Walnut Creek Farms. And he has his own produce and meats, and that it's good stuff. I mean, a lot of people buy their meats because it's, not one called just organic, but it's, naturally fed and all this other business. And the food is, top-notch produce. And so a lot of people I know will go there on a routine basis to get those kind of items. But there's all sorts of businesses there. But he'll be on the corner and one of the bigger spots. So I'd just go and introduce yourself, drop a card, and say, I'd like to talk to you, because it'll start that up again in March.
Okay.
And
I went a couple times this fall.
But Chaz is the ramrod of that whole thing.
Okay.
See,
Good to know. Good to know.
And see, that's another thing about Burleson. We had a farmer's market about 5 years ago, and it was basically out of the back of a truck and, in the parking lot, a few people, and that's about it. And then we got that plaza, and it's just taken off. I mean, I've been there, I don't know, the last couple of years, half a dozen times maybe. And these people come a long way to be in his farmer's market, and they come a long way to shop at his farmer's market. So you'll get a lot of contact that way as well. And that's a good thing about Burleson is that they're very, very active about small business promotion.
Yes.
And we don't just get that everywhere. But, some communities are better than others at it. And I'm sure they all have chambers and they all have this. But I don't know if a town has the commitment our chamber does, our city does, and just the people themselves, they really do take it seriously about shopping locally. And it's really interesting. It really is.
It is. It builds such a great community, and the support here just seems top notch.
We got these other events, and that they just had the parade Saturday.
I know. I missed it.
Yeah, I was out of town too, but I missed it as well. But I've been in it a couple of times with my kids. It's fun.
Yeah. It looked like a great parade.
It is. It was even better than normal. I mean, it's growing a little bit every year because of the promotion of it. It's really gotten pretty professional, if even.
Yes.
And we had an event last May around Memorial Day, the Honey Tour, a bike race. It's a 5K, 10K, 25K bike event. And we've had that a while, but the chamber really refined it, and they coupled it with the city having like a carnival downtown. And so we had all these carnival rides all throughout the downtown area, and it's one of the best things we've ever done. And those are the kind of things I think for you gives you great opportunities, not just promotion, but maybe photo shoot opportunities.
Yes. Just taking my camera out there and taking photos, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe, get hired by the city of Burleson to be a professional photographer, that kind of thing.
Yes.
And also, you talk about Christmas pictures. If you want to have Santa, I know who to hook up with. Stephen Carl Jansen. Have you ever met him? Well, he's the man. And he is. And he loves it. And he really, when he was on the show 3 weeks ago, we spent the first 20 minutes, he was Santa, and he read the story and all this other stuff. And then we went to the second commercial, so during the commercials, took off the uniform. Yeah. Took out, and he was Stephen. And we talked all about his experiences there. And he's also a well-known cook around here, or a chef even. There's a difference. I don't know. But anyway, so those are the kind of things that Burleson offers you.
Yes. Next Christmas, I want to partner with a nonprofit to do a Christmas session where the session fee goes to the nonprofit. So as a fundraiser.
Well, I tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be all over that.
Right. I want to be able to give back with my photography as well and do things like that and find nonprofits and do fun fundraisers.
Well, you picked the right town for it because this has some really good nonprofits. I have several on. I have a couple on routinely, and like Promises and Harvest House and Lisa Schwartz. I don't know if we'll be able to do it because of Christmas holidays, but she'll be on several times next year. Next Step Women's Center. That'd be a good one because you know that outfit.
I met someone at a networking.
Is it Summer or Megan?
I think it was Megan.
Megan was blonde or short? Which is it?
She was shorter.
That's Megan.
Yeah,
okay.
Megan.
Megan's a sweetheart. She's a former student. I've known her family for years.
Yeah.
But that'd be great because you're dealing with small families.
Yes.
That'd be perfect for them. I don't know, connect y'all together if you need it.
That would be great.
Yeah. And Megan would be all over it, I guarantee you.
And I would love to do something with them for, those families that to just photograph them.
Well, for a lot of the people that go to use Megan's services, finances are a condition.
It's something where it's somewhere I would love to give back to.
And they have the facility you could use as a studio for that kind of
to set up a backdrop and whatnot. Yes.
Oh my!
I know.
See, that's why you come on the show. You get all these connections and all that. And it's not like I'm the hub of the universe, but you sit here long enough, you get to talk to all these people. And that's a real blessing in my life.
It is.
Yeah.
And, just starting a business in a place that I know very few people. I told myself I was going to give myself a year to build connections and grow, and then my business would really take off. But I'm nurturing the relationships that I'm starting here.
Well, word of mouth is still the most effective means of advertisement in this town.
Yes.
I mean, you got my show, of course. You got, you got the networking groups. You got social media, but still word of mouth. Well, that's what gets it going.
It goes further, yeah.
Yeah, and so, I have no doubt that you're going to be pretty successful. We have some photographers.
There's some great photographers.
Yeah,
I've met a couple of them. And
have you met Brooke?
I've
Brooke
not met
Mathis. And
Brooke.
she's another one. But there's plenty of room for photographers in this town. I mean, that's the good thing about this town is that there's always going to be room. We're growing, and people are using local services.
Yes.
So, they're not using chains if they don't, or places that are all over the country. They use local people. It's an intention of theirs.
Yes. Supporting local.
Well, we're coming close on time, so tell us, how do we get a hold of you? Like your phone number, and again with the website address, and all the things that you offer, and just anything else you want us to know about you.
Right. So my website is jonilynphotography.com. Lynn with an I. A lot of people get that wrong. They think it's Lynn, but it's JONILINN photography.com. You can give me a call. My phone number is 409-434-8563.
Still got that Beaumont prefix.
I know.
Okay. One more time with the phone number.
409-434-8563. And you can call me anytime. We can chat about family photography. I still have some openings for the holidays right now here in December. Extended families, if you have any extended family coming into town, is a great time to capture pictures with people that you don't get to visit with except for at the holidays.
Yeah.
Great time to do that. Family photography, children's photography, just any portraits.
And then coming up in the spring, do you do Easter portraits, I guess?
I think I'm going to do some fun stuff. I'm for 5-6 months I've been building my business, so when the spring comes around, I'm going to do definitely some wildflower sessions out in the wildflowers. I think I'm going to come up with something really fun. I want to partner with, I haven't spoken to them about it yet, but I think I want to do a campaign with my kids' karate studio and do an event there for empowering the little kids. And it's going to be I'm Possible. It's a play on the word impossible.
Right.
But it's empowering the kids to be possible.
Do you want to do this again, I don't know, late March or something like that, right when spring starts?
Yeah,
let's do this again.
That.
Yeah, okay.
I would love that.
That way, because you're going to have a whole other setup, also the senior pictures and whatnot.
Yes.
And
I'll have lots more to offer. Put out there and offer.
Okay, well, about 3 or 4 months from now, we'll do this again.
Perfect.
All right, I'll let you contact me about the time because it'll always escape my memory because I'm getting old. Anyway.
That happens in life, right?
It seems
you
like
can't escape that.
I get my steps in just going back to the house to get the stuff I forgot. Taylor, thank you for your quickness with the computer. Any good at this?
He is.
Yeah, he's really good at this, and that's why this show is so highly rated, or something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, on Thursday, I got Michelle Umfrey from Hotworks. She's going to talk about trying to not let it get away from you during the holidays. I know it's tempting because the grandma's going to have all this stuff and all this other stuff. And also, I'm just got a notice from my wife over at Southern Gym said they're busy. All right. I'm seeing I'm looking at who I got next week. I know of a couple, but I don't want to say it wrong. On the 11th, I have one of my BNI, on the 12th too. Both are BNI friends. One is Brenda Ramirez, and she runs Two Maids. And they are what they do is they do house and residential and commercial cleaning. And I asked her to come on the show because she has a good story to tell, and the people she employs have good stories to tell, and it can also be very helpful to to have a place you can get your house cleaned after there or for the holidays, because you're going to be up to your eyeballs and all this other stuff. And then the next day I have Tanner Schorber from AirServe, and I had him on because not just because he's on BNI, but also because he's go tell us about situations with your HVAC, and you don't think about these things until it's too late. Sometimes I like to have people from my BNI group who have services to offer the community. Because sometimes you don't think about your hot water heater like what Matt Cobb did last week, or John with the roofs. And then the 14th I'm open, so I might just use that day to kind of catch us up on what's going on in the world of politics and the war in Israel and all that.
There's something happening in the world?
Yes. You sound like my students, Anyway, but it's going to be one of those shows, I believe, unless somebody pops in at the last minute. And your mom popped in again, speaking of which. I wish you could have shown the Christmas box photo.
Oh, yes, I did. I did my family photos in the box photos. It's where you take pictures inside of a 4x4 box, and then you Photoshop them all together, and it's a lot of fun.
Maybe
it
next
was really
time.
cute. I should have showed that.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Maybe, and your mom and your brother will be on next time, hopefully.
Right?
All right. Thank you all up in Minnesota and down in Beaumont, and for all that. Makes me feel like a big shot. And we'll see you all on Thursday.